Lori got here, and Mike's here, and Waylon's here. Oh, there's some seats here. You want to sit here?
Angela Blair has just published her first novel, Sunkissed and Salted, and her friends and family are gathered for a book release celebration.
I need a picture of all of you. Hello! This book has been the focus of my creative life for the last 2.5 years, usually between about 4 and 7 in the morning, but I got it done.
The book is about one woman's perilous journey to find her freedom.
So here's the blurb. When curiosity and risk go too far, will she listen to the epiphany that could save her from losing it all? Alika Jones is a free spirit, traveling the world on the edge. Numerous emotional and mental challenges propel the bizarre circumstances that unfold, but Alika is resilient and pushes through the obstacles she faces. In this story, I have focused on a life with a troubled past, filled with exciting events and poor choices. Despite her antics, Alika is not a bad person, but a lost soul ignited by adventure. So today I will read sections from chapter 23, Collected Keys, and I hope you enjoy Sunkissed and Salted. Just after dawn, we hit the highway. I envisioned an imaginary banner across the rear of the van reading Florida or Bust. After some traffic through Jersey and Washington, D.C., we managed to drive quickly through Virginia and the Carolinas. I began to picture the beach, eager for the sun and the shaking off of frost. The monotony of highway travel always made my baby sleep. Left to my own thoughts, a cluster of recent memories invaded my mind as I drove. It was approaching noon after Jane was born, and we were set to go home. But Jackson hadn't come back to the birthing center after leaving the night before. Our new baby was perfect and ate well. Jane had a full head of blonde hair, which was a surprise, but her face looked just like Jackson, and my resentment of his absence diminished as I admired the miniature miracle in my arms, so peaceful, as if she were recalling what it was like in heaven. Then she let out a wide and heavy exhalation, larger than her tiny frame would be expected to carry, as if to say, "Hey, Mama, don't forget, you have me." When Jane was only 15 months old, the lease to our apartment expired, and the building was scheduled to be demolished. We had to move. Meanwhile, Jackson had not returned from Louisiana after being summoned for yet another beguiling family drama. His stories of medical fraud, a burning house, bloody fights, insurance scams, shots fired, an ex-wife demanding money, slander in need of squelching, and always another funeral, created a tangle of tales that I couldn't keep straight. We were vomiting all night long. Both girls were inconsolable, and the exhaustion was killing me. It was pouring rain outside. Jane was crying on the floor, and Cora was pulling at my nightgown. I was bug-eyed and bloodshot after a sleepless night, stuffing a garbage bag with sickening sheets. Then a nosy volunteer picked up Jane and said, "It appears that you need help, and I mean serious help." And she had that do-gooder attitude and savior complex that scared me. I'm going to see to it that these children are safe and receive the care they need. As she started dialing a number on her cell phone, never had such a cold fear consume me. Paranoid at the thought of having my children taken away, I reached for Jane, who dived out of the woman's arms into mine. "I have a sack of filthy, wet sheets that I need to take to the laundromat," I told the volunteer, struggling to stay calm, despite my panic and nausea. Balancing Jane on my hip, I stuffed a duffel bag with toys and blankets, certain not to miss the diapers, wipes, towels, toothbrushes, coats, sippy cups, soap, and snacks. Weak, in a fury, and knowing I looked feral, I took Cora's hand and headed for the van. Standing in the rain, fastening the girls in the car seats, I thought of that nice guy Richard from Sam's coffee shop and his offer to crash at the row house he was remodeling, the house on Upsall Street. After a full day of driving south along the East Coast, we stopped in Savannah, Georgia, for the night at a cheap motel on a mossy tree-lined street. The room had a musty smell, but the bed slope, the petite coffee maker, and the thin, hard, dry soap wrapped like a package were vast improvements from where we had been sleeping for the last 5 days. We could jump, tickle and play on the springy mattress. Cora's soft hair had finally grown in. It was a light brown and curled on the edges just as mine had done as a child. Jane's thick blonde hair fell into her eyes and needed a trim. Wearing the much-loved matching dresses that I had saved from our sidewalk sale, with the print of purple blooms and yellow butterflies, Cora and Jane threw pillows at each other and then at me. Forgetting all else, we began to laugh. Sometimes laughter begets itself, stretching time, pushing the past back and the future forward, as if it were its own form of procreation, where the silliness reigns supreme and you wonder why you ever cried. When joy was so fulfilling, its expanse pushes out the excess fluid from your body, and you must pee or weep or both. You weep that you have wept before, and you weep still because you have finally stopped weeping. That makes only more laughter, and you look at each other realizing you're each laughing for a different reason. That makes the moment even funnier. Then the laughter sounds funnier because one of us heaves, another snorts, then we can't catch our breath. It is wild and free and has no one to answer to, and that makes us laugh and cry simultaneously until we taste the salt of our own tears dripping from the gutter above our upper lips. Descending notes of laughter and several sheets of tissues signified the beginning of the end. But then the TV filled the room with the musical theme for Twilight Zone. There is a fifth dimension. Again, the imminent tsunami called hilarity draws near and begins to suck us in. These elongated happy moments, these images and sounds have been a long time coming. Afterward, we ached in our bellies, even in our jaws.
I'm on the right track. I'm following my dream and doing the right thing, and it's working. I feel like a momentum building. Sunkissed and Salted is the first of many. I am determined to be an author the rest of my life.